feels good to know that we have other people that are disabled here in Canada, because before I got onto that ODSP, that support network or whatever, he was getting taken advantage. He was starting to get taken advantage of. Luckily, I nipped it right in the butt right away and said, well, then I'm disabled. I must be disabled. And then I started to realize, wow, you have this qualification, you have that disability, you have that disease or whatever. I just used to ignore it for many years, all the way up until I was 20 something. I used to just ignore my body. But I feel very safe knowing that we have hey, I'm alive today, but you can be dead tomorrow. But we fight. The Canadian Disabled United. It is a fight. It's more than that, but it's about our voice too. I didn't have a voice even at all. And we have a unified voice. And there's support, and there are real families, real people here in Canada. And real people have power. When real people finally, and they're under this support network and everything, we have disabilities and all that. Now, we have to watch what we say. I said that before, to make our group look bad. They may try to make disabled people look like bad people or something. So I have no affiliation with anybody that says any of those bad things. My perspective is being this person that was born here in Canada. I worked here in Canada, and I'm disabled here in Canada. I've been taken advantage of here in Canada. More than from the government, from people that were supposed to be our police here in Canada. Before I got onto ODSP, the police used to beat people here in Canada, touch them in their private parts. Some things that in Canada, when I went to school, it was a big thing when somebody was to touch your private parts and all that. The police are guilty of touching people's private parts here in Canada. Same within the jails, the correctional staff, they've been guilty. Everybody knows they touch Canadians' private parts. So that's been a good thing to finally get me to be on disability. And they touch disabled ones in the hospital. I watched even the nurses touching some ones in the wheelchairs, private areas. But that happens. But the only way that we can be able to be heard is with other people that are on ODSP, and it's that whole ODSP thing. We did have family that cared. Beside, there was ones, believe it or not, just like you and me, that have proper etiquette and whatnot. Large amounts of ones that had proper etiquette and whatnot. Large enough to where we have this unified system called the ODSP. And there's people that attack our system every day, all day. And when I say attack, they're literally really attacking. All right. So, no, it's real like that or whatever. There is jealous ones that were on disability. We're talking SS. They already received 65,000, 100,000 a year, and they still want to kill disabled people that are only making 25,000 a year and getting their little extras and all that. And they still want to kill people like that and all that. Because 65,000 a year is not millions. So they have delusions of grandeur to the point where they're actually hurting people, actually touching people's private parts and all that. But we're trying to change that one step at a time. And it starts with each person on disability, with less and less people being manipulated and profited off of in the drug businesses and the other businesses, the rape, the human trafficking, all that other stuff. As many disabled ones in Canada are being taken advantage of by the politicians, by the police, by others, as less and less people do, like me, and I can make that as an example, we'll have less and less people taken advantage of for just being being disabled as part of the family, but being ones that were classified as disabled. And there should be ones very limited to so. Me, and there is that whole unified network. But not everybody deserves disability here in Canada. I didn't for many years. I worked for a company, paid taxes. The whole U.S. tax system with the W-8BN or whatever. He did that. So I did everything. And I deserve mine, and there's ones that deserve theirs. And that was nice to see him get a hug, you know, and he's taking another one. Because that man right there doesn't, that is a man right there, and men get to take a lot of things, we know, especially those ones in power like those police. All they do is take, and take. And yeah, he expected to get a hug, but then he actually even got to do a man thing and do the hug himself. See, that's a very rare thing for our disabled men, is to be able to go and get something they want. Oh, he wants to have a steak for once in 25 years. When they've been eating steak and potatoes in the Texas Roadhouse shit for years. They've been eating Texas Roadhouse every day and then they want to sit there and lie like they never had it and all that. When there's kids that have never ever had it in their entire life. And that's what we're at war with. Some greedy baby boomer type people that think they can eat at Texas Roadhouse every single fucking day of their life. And then us kids that finally are adults now, we ain't ever had it. We can't even have a goddamn steak without the 2-3s being pulled out and all that. Did you know it's like that here in Canada? Yeah, it's like that here in Canada. Because we have a few officers that are rookies that finally got to be a constable that now have $65,000 a year. They have the house. They have the steak in the freezer. They got the 223 rifles. They got the everything they want. Trucks. They got mafia family relationships. They're having sex with real women and men and all that. And then the people that are next in line, the people that are next in line to be humans aren't even allowed to be humans, is what's been going on with this corruptive fucking nature with these people right here. What do you know? Who's taking up the door at Texas Roadhouse? More police officers. So that's what we're dealing with, an army of some fucking really bad people. All right? You're not allowed to have an Xbox because they said so. You're not allowed to go to Texas Roadhouse because they said so. You're not allowed to get disability because they said so. You're dead because they said so. And that is who they are. And you've seen it right there. What do you know? You see, it wouldn't have went with it. If there was no police on here or whatever, it wouldn't even have made sense. Who are you, police officer? Welcome to Texas Roadhouse. No one else. And that's what they're doing to people. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher. It doesn't matter if you're a waiter. Because those waiters are going to see when they finally get to save up their money and buy something, they're going to get robbed by the mafia. You're only allowed, and they'll tell you, you're only allowed to have one of these Chromebooks. You can have a computer. I won't kill you. It has to be a Chromebook or whatever. And that's what they're doing to kids nowadays. Because you didn't want to agree with Stacks and Millie and all that about it. But it's changing. More and more people are agreeing with Stacks and Millie. They got their Chromebook and they're wondering, well, how come I can't have this? And because I was accidentally listening to that guy that didn't really care about me. Because when you have to self-defend yourself like a home defense, they're nowhere to be around, eh? It's about you and yourself being your own officer or your own military person that was born here in Canada or United States, just like they said to us in the beginning. You have your right to be this person. I could have been military. I could still be military. I could be all these different things. But if you do not take that right and you do not go forward with it, because there was a time I said, well, what's the point of even having a gun? I feel more than safe. Well, until I started becoming an older man with the nice glasses, and the hat, even the hat and the glasses, in some areas, there's people that would rob a guy for hurt a guy, hurt a little white guy. I've been hurt. All right. I had to get major surgery from this kind of stuff. There was a guy that beat me up and robbed me for an orange, a singular orange. All right, a singular orange. We're not talking an orange colored Louis Vuitton bag or nothing like that. A singular orange. All right. I had to have major surgery because, and once I seen that, because most people, I was used to, our family buys bundles of oranges from the grocery store. We have oranges, right? And for Christmas we have the tangerines and once I seen that people were killing that down to the human nature that there were criminals killing ones for just the singular orange. That taught me a lesson. It taught me, oh, you know that firearm that you've been pushing off, you know that? You better buy it because I just didn't understand the market or whatever either at the time. No, and that's the same thing. It takes time to adjust, and I don't want to pull up this many pictures of firearms because it ain't like that. But it takes time to adjust, and I knew that too. And then it also takes time to adjust once you become a legal firearm owner, as I was grandfathered in. I don't have the firearm of my dreams. I would much rather have a semi automatic or whatever, but I do. My revolver was still the firearm of my dreams and all that and all that. But you know what I mean. And but it's still, even with my revolver and all that, even with my revolver and all that and all that, um, it still took time for people to adjust to that. Because before I had my firearm, there were men coming in. There were men coming in. When I'm not talking normal men, I'm talking like there were like tattooed gun owner men coming into my life. And now you wonder why the hell I have tattoos and all that, because he was born in this family or whatever in Canada and the US. As much as I'm family with all the other people that don't have tattoos or whatever, I still am family with those people. I am. I got a lot of people like I was a person with. See, the thing is, I was a person without the tattoos for such a long time. Some people got their tattoos at like 16 or whatever. I didn't get tattoos until I was like 30 or whatever. But so I had like a good 20 something years of being a guy without tattoos and all that. But then I got taken advantage of some of these bad ones, the bad ones with the bad guys with the tattoos. I'm more like a police officer with the tattoos or whatever. But some of these guys are like idiot bad guys. And I was getting taken advantage of the idiot bad guys. And then I got tattoos myself or whatever. And then the police thought I was one of those idiot bad guys. Then I realized, no, he's more like a police officer guy or whatever. He's more like one of these guys, eh? But then he went and got the tattoos on his arms and all that because I was an ugly, ugly guy. He wasn't as good looking as that guy or not. And everybody knows how ugly Tom was. Stacks and Millie was one of the ugliest ducklings. All right. It took so long. He never had much. I never had a girlfriend in my entire life yet. I think I will in the future or whatever have like a real girlfriend now that I got the tattoos. But he was one ugly duckling. All right. He was one ugly. And all the girls would say was, you have to have tattoos. You got to get tattoos and all that or whatever. And you got to have a firearm. You got to and that's what I realized. You can't even have a girlfriend unless you have a firearm, or else you're just like this taking advantage of junkie. And people are picking at your eyes and picking at and all that. Like I'm a fucking one of these diseased ducks you find down in Florida or whatever. Because I guess that's what happened in Florida. They were taking advantage of them. They were picking at them and all that. And they eventually said, all right, we need the Second Amendment and all that or whatever. But they learned that long ago. See, I was just one of these ducks or whatever down there. And I didn't understand it. I said, well, how come you need one? I don't, or whatever. And then they said, Tom, they love me so much. They said, Tom. And then they said, he'll find out. Trust me. And then he found out. Trust me.